Hello, good evening. My name is Obindako. I want to share with you the business, the marriage, and the family, or the business, the marriage, the family. Almost every one of us, when we start any business at all, we want to succeed at the business, and if we happen to marry, want to succeed at the marriage, and if we happen to have a family, especially the one with the children and the wife or the husband, we want to succeed at those as well. And we want to have peace, reduce the difficulties, the stress, we want to reduce the pain. We want to see the best for our family, we want to see that the business grows, we want to see that the marriage is successful. And if you look at any of them takes time, takes effort. Any of them is, or every one of them is very much involving. As a matter of fact, I would say that the business is a business, or the company. The marriage is also a business, and the family is also a business. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because the company involves people, it involves money, it involves systems and structures and goals. The marriage same involves people. It spends money, it takes time. Systems and structures are needed. The family involves people, involves systems. If you want to succeed, they have to have some goals for the family. And so each one of them is a force in their own right. And yet, if you start a business, you are at least expected to succeed. You are expected to succeed with the family, and you are again expected to succeed with the marriage. And each is kind of a difficult task. So some people have done it, and they have done it very well. And we are also trying to do it. We also have to find a way of doing all of them and possibly succeed at every one of them. Whatever that you set out to be your success for your business, for the family, for the marriage, they are all doable, and you have just got to take your time and work at them one at a time. And so the business needs time. The business runs with money, and the business may start very little, and you are in it, you want to grow it. The marriage will need some bit of knowledge, some bit of skills, understanding, wisdom to have it successful. Some people have done it. Both, or the three, are all made of humans who have their will, who have their choices, their aspirations, they have their emotions, and every one of them is very much complex. And so when you have a business, or even when you have a career that you're building, and you have a family, you have a marriage, and trying to build all of them at a time, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. Yes, this is the life that humans have got to put up with. If you are from here, you may not want to sacrifice any of them at all. Some people somewhere can just focus on the business and build that, and forget about what they call marriage, or even forget about what they call family, so to say. That is a wife or a husband with some children, or a wife without any children. It depends on the condition. But there's something they call family, and there's something they call marriage, and there's something that you want to build, if it's a business or whatever that you're building with your life. And each will call for some kind of time, some kind of involvement, some kind of money. And it's tough to run all the three at the same time and enjoy them peacefully and succeed at them. And that is why we all wish for ourselves, to succeed at your aspirations, succeed at your marriage, succeed with the family. And nobody tells us as to how to do all the three at the same time, particularly with those who are trying to build businesses, because that one consumes a lot. That one is that much complicated, and any error in the business affects the family, affects the marriage as well. And so if you make mistake, it will be tough. Try to get all the three on the same page. So expect some bit of disagreement, because these are humans, until you have set vision for each of them. So your business must have some vision, your family must have some vision, the marriage must have some kind of vision, where you want to go, at least for a year, for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. There should be some kind of common goals that everyone involved in each wants to reach. Because if you are not clear on those, then it becomes very tragedy, if you want, and you should be able to, for instance, the business. Maybe your family may not be involved in the business. Maybe you are not in the business with your wife or with your husband, which means that you're dealing with a whole group of people separately. And then the business, and then the marriage, you're dealing with another group of people. And then if you have children and what they call family, you are dealing with them as well. They have their choices, they have their say. You cannot bully them all the time. You have got to have some kind of stability and skills to deal with all this. And it's more even complex when the family is also involved in the business at all. Assuming you are doing business with your wife, what is got to take for you to have a successful family when you are doing business at the same time, with both of you involved or with the family involved, is different from when, say, you have a business and then your wife works somewhere. Even though they are involved, they are not entirely involved. There is some bit of separation. And if both of you, let's say, if the woman is involved in a business and the man is also working somewhere, it's a bit different from if the woman is involved in a business and the man is also working. The mix. So there is no clear definition. Depends on the metrics that you have at hand, and depends on what you want as your aspirations. But what I'm saying is that each of them is every one of them, the business, the family, the marriage, every one of them is very complex, and every one of them you have got to start them from the seed level, and you need different tools to grow them and to be successful at every one of them. So expect some bit of disagreements at the initial stages if you have not set the goals, and if you have not apportioned the duties and know what each of them is very good at and what each of them is doing. In this case, I'm talking of where the family or the marriage or the partner is also involved in the business that you're running one way or the other. And even if they are not involved, if you bring debt, they get affected. If you bring money, victories, they also get affected. It changes the people, whether they are even involved or not. It changes them forever. So you cannot just be naive to say that I will separate my business from the family. I'm not sure, because you are the same person who is present here and who is present in the business, and the children, whatever is going around in your emotions. If there is stress, you carry it to the family, you carry it to the woman or the man. And if there's stress in the family, you carry it to the business and to everybody who works with you. So these are facts that you have got to deal with and face them with the right training, right knowledge, right development. So commit to building the business, because if you are successful with the business, the money from the business can help the family and can help the marriage as well, because there's a lot that you solve if there is some success somewhere. And if there is failure, it's the same. People will need some bit of explanation and communication validation. They want their knowledge, their expertise to be sought, even if they are not in the business. They want some bit of contribution. They want to be appreciated that they are making a contribution to that which you're committed to if you are doing the business. And if you're doing it, the two, you have got to know what the other person is good at, what the other person is not good at, where somebody calls for the shot and where the other person follows. You cannot just say that I am the man, so the woman should just be following. There will be confusion. There will be confusion, and that when that starts, it means that something somewhere along the line is going to get affected. So if you are not sure of the roles and the expertise, you have got to work on them. And then there has to be constant communication as to who is doing what. And there has to be another part for the growth of both of you, where you're sourcing your knowledge, your training. You cannot be just one training and the other one is left behind. There will be a separation along the line, because for it to grow, for the business to grow, for the marriage to grow, for the family to grow, you need some knowledge. And so you should not just be the one who is only looking for knowledge and you leave the others. If you find a book that you're reading, get the other ones to read as well. If you have a seminar that you're going, get them involved, especially when the two are doing the business. If you have anything that inspires you, share. That's how you get to grow, or you will grow apart, and then you see that the business may be succeeding, and then the family may be going apart, and the marriage may not be working. And so they go together. All of them go together, and one affects the other. Every one of them affects the other. And what I've seen is that people try to hide a lot of things from their partners, so to say. You don't need to if you want peace, and if you want growth, and if you want stability in all the three. You don't need to. If you don't have 3 wives and you have 1 wife, then you have got to build it with her. And you need a lot of honesty and openness, and you need some bit of maturity. If you don't have them, you have to work on them to make sure that both of you are on the same page with the business, with the marriage, and with the family. It's something that you learn. You may not be able to qualify everything, but a clear definition of what each of them is taking will help you, because the business consumes a lot of time. There's a lot of pressure. There's always constant problem somewhere that you're solving, and the family also same, and even the marriage same. So if you decided to take another person on board with your life, then you have to do what you have to do to make sure that both of you are on the same goals with the marriage and with the business and even with the family. Because sometimes you can focus on just the business, maybe the marriage, and leave even the children behind, and that along the line you will see the effects coming up, and they didn't just come up. It's something that you set in motion, or something that you may have neglected. And so you may have to provide the individual leadership at what you do best, and you as the man, you have to provide the leadership for the family as well. But it does not mean that you have to be the one who knows everything, everybody and how they see the world. And so if you let people get to the point where they know that their thoughts are as important as yours, even the children, you can put something there and you ask them question, and you see how much they'll be able to tell you about what you think you know all. So once you get human beings involved, then you have to understand that they have the ability to make choice. They have their will. They can say no to something. You cannot dictate to everybody. And yet everything that you do or what they do, they affect you. And you are so much consumed with you building your career or building the business, and at the same time you cannot neglect this you call family or you call marriage. And some people try to say that, the family is first and the marriage is somewhere and the business is somewhere. I say that all of them are important. I will not try to put any one of them anywhere, because if one fails, the others are affected. And so I would say that if you want to position them anywhere, I would say that they run in a circular form, one affects the other. Wherever you place the other affects the other. So concern, because if your business goes bad and you are in bad situation, it affects the way you even handle the house if you're not so much mature, and the way you handle the spouse. So you can't say that this one is above the other and this one is above the other so much. This is my philosophy. I think that everyone you are doing, because if there's no money in the family and if the business is the one bringing the money, then you can't say that the marriage is above the business per se, because if the money is not in the business, is not in the family, there's trouble. And yet if the business is succeeding and there's no peace in the family, there's another trouble. If the children are not taken care of, their school, their friends, the things that are important to children may not be important to the man, and the things that are important to the woman may be not important to the to the man at all. And what may be so much important to the man may be different from what is important to the woman. So you just have to understand from the family level what is important to each one of them, everyone, and what they get. The man has his own things that he's so much passionate about. The woman may also have her own things that, and children only look for, time, and they want to be with you. If you neglect them, it means big blow to them. And so they want to see you, they want you to be present, they want to be involved in what is going on, they want to talk to you. It's tough. And then your business too wants your attention, and the wife may also want your attention. And I would say that if you're married to, say, a business person and you're not a business person, you would have to study a lot about it. You would have to study about their emotions. You have to study about the complexities of the business that they are doing. You would have to study one or two about a lot of the things that they do. You may not be involved, but they will come and tell you everything. So one way or the other, you are in charge. The decisions that he's making are being fed from you or by you. So you may as well increase your knowledge level, your exposure, to help everything that you are doing together to grow. And if both of you are also involved, you still have to study the person as an individual, as a man, as a woman, what gets their attention. And you cannot just carry the suspicions that people have in terms of marriage and doing business together and sharing money, where you want to separate a lot of things. Me, I'm not for those, if you ask me, because if you want to commit to anything, then be committed. When you die, you are not going to take any of the things that you are trying to hide from this person in the first place. So I think that if you are in it together, then you are in it. If you're married to the person, you are in a relationship with the person, then you are together. So look at the ways that you can make whatever you are involved in to work and work well, than trying to hide a lot of things. Some people are not ready to learn, and that is a tough situation. But nobody made that choice for you. You made it yourself. And I think one of the best things that you may have, if you have not made this choice already, is to look at the kind of person that you are going to get involved with, and if you're going to start business along the line, or the lifestyle you are going to choose. You have to look at that and look at the person and how they will take it. Some people don't want anything to do with stress and business and all these problems. And so if you get involved with such a person, you have escalated the stress already. And that's why people complain about the difficulties they have in the marriage and all those. Because you may have started with a person who did not want to have this kind of lifestyle at all. Or you may have neglected the training of that person, and that will hype, because the stress level of a business person is very high, and then the stress level in marriage is also very high. Now if you add the children to it, then you are causing danger. But the good thing is that all these things are doable. They call for patience, they call for training, they call for knowledge, they call for a good plan to make sure that all these are working and working well. Your money skill, your time skill, your people skill will help you to build the family, the business, and the marriage successfully. Okay, the way you manage that money, the way you manage the time, the way you manage the people, the way you understand human beings. will help you to go through a lot, because everyone has a problem that they're dealing with in their business, in their marriage, in their family. Everyone has it. But I see some people can easily break at the least. I mean, the little problem, they escalate everything and everything is gone. Why? Because they did not improve some of these skills: the money, the time management, the people skill, and all the things that you need to know to run a family, because none of these things is for children. They are not. The business is not for a child. You have got to grow to run a business and run them well, especially if you pick it from nothing and you're developing your idea into a company. You cannot be a child. You have got to make a lot of decisions, courage. You should be prepared to solve a lot of problems, and same with marriage. I mean, the marriage is not just fun. It may be fun for 1 week. The rest is trouble. And it's only trouble because the problems probably are bigger than your maturity. And so you have to grow bigger than the problem. Then you can see that you can manage all of them, because people have done them and they have done them well. And none of them did it with the skill that they were born with. They did it by constant improvement. And it's not just one person improving, all of you improving. So the business is complex. Study it. It takes a lot of involvement. The business will take a lot of involvement. The marriage takes a lot of involvement. It's complex, and everyone's marriage is different from the other person's marriage, because the situations are different. The variables, entirely different. And the family is business is different. Still study them. Each of them takes a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of things that you have to do to make them successful. If you don't want success in any of this, then that is your. But I don't know if you want to start a business and you wish that you will not succeed, or you want to start a family and you wish that you will not succeed, or you want to start a marriage and you think that you are just going to put yourself in trouble. Everyone starts any of these with intention to enjoy, to have peace, to have growth, to have success. And yet not everybody has that. If you hear the percentages of businesses that collapse, they're very high. Then if you hear the percentages of marriages that get dissolved, they are also very high. Why? Because they are involved with people. And so if you are trying to do the two at the same time, then you can understand the business collapse. The statistics are there for you to know that a lot of businesses collapse, as quickly as possible. And then a lot of marriages also don't work out, they say. I don't know. And so if you're doing this at the same time, you're doing the business, you're doing the marriage, and both of you are involved, then you can understand the pressure that you have placed on yourself. And so you have the onus is on you to make sure that you develop the skill, both of you, to enjoy the business and to enjoy the marriage, to enjoy the family all the time, because life is for one. You live once, and so you don't want to create problems all your life for yourself, and so you should understand it. My name is Kwabena. I am talking about the business, the marriage, and the family, and I'm saying that each of them, or every one of them, is complex. Every one of them involves time, involves people, involves money, or with the other. I think that all of them are even businesses, actually, and all of them is also marriage, so to say, and all of them can be described as family as well, because businesses really are family, and businesses are really marriage. If you have a partner, if you have workers, it's more like marriage. If you choose the wrong partner, the business will suffer forever. If you choose the right one, you enjoy. Same with the family, same with if you choose a wrong marriage partner, the trouble. And if you choose so that is it. But then people can commit to getting the right knowledge, and I think that is more of yes, it's good if you get a good partner. And what you call good partner is somebody who has developed themselves before they came on board, who understand who they are, who understand their own aspirations, who have matured themselves, who are ready to put up with some bit of pain, who are solution they solve problems, who understand the impact of money and their decisions on money very good, and they understand the value of appreciating people, knowing the contributions people make. They are grateful, they are thankful, they are kind, they are able to forgive and move on to the next stage. These are qualities that people have got to bring on board, whether it's the marriage or the business, and you have got to extend this to your family, your children, everybody. So if you don't have this, then you have started with a bad partner, so to say. But some people may not have had it, but maybe they'll be able to quickly develop those. And if they develop them well and quickly, you may have a fair shot of building a good business and building a good family, building a good marriage. Because each one of them, you have to enjoy them, because you are really spending your life doing any one of them. You're spending your life on the business, you're spending your life on the marriage, you're spending your life with the family, and so you might as well enjoy the process, because it's your life that you're living anyway. And so you should have a structure, a plan to make sure that you enjoy every process, every stage, and you work towards every one of them succeeding. And it's not a matter of, I don't know if it will work. If you put in the right ingredients, you have a fair shot of being successful at every one of them. People have done them, and people have done them knowing that there are problems, but they have enjoyed every bit of it. So I think that all of us, welcome. And so the business will need time to grow. The business will need time to grow. The business runs with money, and it will depend on the skill level that you have and your ability to develop the skill. The same with the marriage. It will need time to grow. You will run the marriage or the family with money, and you have to have the right skills to do all of these. And because every one of them is made up of humans with power to choose, you have to inspire them, you have to grow them, you have to get them involved. Sorry, the internet is not good. And so you have to inspire them, and that will call for maturity. It's the commitment that you have to make, and expect a lot of disagreement until you have set common goal and you are committed to everyone having their roles. In the business, in the marriage, you should know what your wife is good at, what your husband is good at. If they are good at the money, let them handle the money. If they are good at the processes, the product, let them handle that. If you are good with managing the people, you handle that. So you set the roles well, and you let people make the decision without even trying to consult you on everything, because you trust their judgment. You have given them so sorry. So each of you have sat down to decide which role that each of you can take. Now you should be able to trust every yourselves to let the other make the right choices. They don't have to talk to you every minute to make any choice at all. So and you should understand, as a man, the approach of the woman is different, and if you're a woman, the approach of the man. If you're a woman, the approach of the man will be different. It does not mean that you have to make choice, decide the way that the other person will decide. Even if you are both of the same sex, so to say, you will still have your individual way of looking at the issues. And so what is important is that the decisions are working. It's not so much you being the one to make the decision or the other one making the decision. Remember, you're a team, and you're a team to win. You're a team to hit the goal, to succeed. So if you want to spend the money or spend the energy, then don't spend the energy, or don't use the energy to fight. You should rather use the energy to hit the goal. To hit the goal. I think the disagreement should not just be between you. No, it's the goal that you want. So use the time that you have to discuss about the goal, about the mission more than all the pettiness, the disagreement, the fighting, and all the unnecessary things. Even if they come up, you try not to spend so much time on them, but to look at the target and where you want to go. Because people involved in business with their spouse a lot of the time can waste a lot of energy on things that are not important, So commit to the goals and the things that you have set for yourself for the business to work, and commit to the goals for the marriage to work. It's working. It's workable. It's only struggling. You're only struggling when the maturity is weak, when the knowledge is weak, when the understanding of each other is weak. Then the marriage will struggle. But the moment you get to understand each other well, and the moment you understand that this is a woman and this is what is important to her, and this is a man and this is what is important to him, this is how they spend things, you get to, and if you are honest and respectful to each other, then there's a lot that you can do to get things going. So it's a commitment that both of you have to make if you are going to build business and build a marriage and build a family together. All of them carry a lot of weight. So you have to lift yourself so high above the problem so you can do them. You see, and the thing about you building a business with you get to spend a lot of time together, which is good. You get to develop something that can become a very huge success, and which can change the finances that both of you have, and the pure heart of commitment to building something, to value something that both of you, the person that you love, you love this person. That's why you dated her and you went ahead to marry her. So why should the business create problems for you, or why should the marriage create problems for you? It only creates the problem when both of you are not developing and not growing. And so you trust your so much maturity by the time that you marry, and that you have put growing on hold. I think both of you should commit to reading, commit to studying, not just the business alone. Commit to studying the family, commit to studying people, commit to studying, read, buy books on how these things work, because that's the only way you're going to succeed. So people need communication, they need validation, they need inclusion, they need appreciation. They want to be felt that they are needed, they are making contribution to the family, to the business, to the marriage. People want to hear that. That's people want to be appreciated. That's how. And the man that you are with, the same. The woman that you are with, the same. So if you take those for granted, and a lot of us, our background did not support us to be that, to value some of these things. But if you probably are committed to one woman, then you have changed your philosophy already, because most of us, our parents married maybe more than one. So if you're a man and you have committed to marry one woman, it means that there's a lot you have changed already. So you cannot carry the old information into a new life that you are trying to build, which means you have different kind of way of looking at women and appreciating women and understanding that they are also human beings. They are not inferior, they are not weak, so to say, in terms of the mind. They have the way, they have their strength. You, the man, you have your strength. These are the things that you have to develop yourself, especially as a man. And if you take the leadership, it will work. Yes, problems one way or the other, relapse will come in, but because you're equipped, you'll be able to handle them and handle them well. And your children will be looking up to you, and you are building a next generation as well. So how well you build this will depend on how well you're equipped and how well you're ready for the next stage. So the business will need time, the family will need time, and the marriage will need time. All of them need money. All of them are made up of people, complex issues that you have to solve. All of them are very much involving. And so your best shot is the commitment from both of you to make sure that this thing that you're working will work. And the thing about it is that you don't have to just build all this on credibility, on humanity, on clean heart. Don't just harbor anything to say, those kind of things. Those kind of funny statements. No matter your experiences or what you have seen other people go through, you can always change it if you are committed to changing it and working it well. So don't carry all those bad information that they have given you into this new family that you have, this family that you're building, and be open. Provide the leadership that is needed. If you're the man, provide the leadership that is needed. If you're the woman, provide the leadership that is needed. There's a lot that each of you, and every stage is a changing stage. The man who was 20 years now is 30 years. His aspirations, his needs keep on changing. You have to also look at her needs, which keep on changing, and keep up with them. People have lived for 90 years, and some of them have done fantastically, far more than what we are doing. So we can't complain. We can only grow and build the right things, and make sure that we can succeed at the business, we can succeed at the family, we can succeed at the marriage, and they are all doable. You see, the thing is that you have to commit that I want to succeed at all of these. Make the decision that I want to succeed at the business, I want to succeed at the marriage, I want to succeed at the family. It's a decision, it's a choice. And the next thing is that you have to commit to becoming a better person so that it can work. And things that mindset, things that they have told you that don't work, you have to know that this one will not work. If you are not the one who is trustworthy, who is not truthful, who wants his way and you want your way, the two cannot work together or work together until there's agreement. So if you are going to work together, then there has to be agreement. And the agreement is the vision. It's the things that you have put together to work on. And so the business is very complex. Don't take it lightly at all. It can put you into a lot of trouble. The marriage is complex. It can put you in a lot of trouble. And the family, raising a family is no joke. It's no joke. So, but these things are only difficult when you feel that you are powerless, when you are not committed to making it work. And I don't put any of them above the other. All of them are very important, because if you have a husband who is not committed to anything with his life, you're not going to have a happy man. The same with a woman, So if the man has nothing to do, you can't say that his work is not important. What is very important is the family. Okay, take the work from him, take the business from him, and see that the man will become disastrous. He'll be depressed. He will not have any things that should not bother him will start to bother him. So the business is shaping the man in a particular way which benefits the family and benefits the marriage. The same, if the woman is not committed to anything that she feels like she's making a contribution with her life, she becomes frustrated. She becomes frustrated. So never take the other things that people are doing with their life for granted, thinking that what is really needed is the business. That's a lie. What is only needed is the family or the marriage. That is a lie. That's a lie. That's why the marriages tend to go through a lot of stress when people get fired from their job. Why? It's not just about the money, but the fact that the man feels like he's no more making contribution to anything. So he's confused about his future and what to do. And when people are very much confused about their future, they carry the same stress to the family, to the children. They start to beat the children where they don't have to beat them. They become very volatile and erratic, because they are not committed to another thing that they feel is meaningful. So I will not push the business aside and say that it's just the family, and I will not put the family aside and say that it's just the business or the marriage. No, all the three we have to handle them, and this is how the world has been structured. If you commit to building a business, and if you so want trouble and you get yourself a woman to marry, and you put another stress on yourself to get produce children, then you should understand the category that you are in. And then be ready to solve the problems that come up, because they all require maturity, they all require constant responsibilities, and you cannot take them for granted. And you want to. The thing about humans is that we all want to succeed with what we are involved in. So you have got to study them and study them well, build them, and have the philosophy that all of them can succeed, and you can enjoy the life that you have, the marriage, the business, and the family. All of them, you can work on all of them. If you're failing at any of them, it means that you're failing with the knowledge, with the skill in that field. That's why you're failing. It doesn't mean that there's any special thing. If you're failing at the business, it means there's trouble. If you're failing at the marriage, there's trouble. It means that you are not making the right choices, you're not making the right decisions, that we are failing, or we don't have the right tools, the right knowledge, the right skill. That's why we're failing. So if we upgrade them upgrade the knowledge, upgrade how we do things, we will get results. With time we'll get results. So you can build all of them and succeed. All of them and succeed and succeed well. It's not impossible. But then you cannot try to do all of them at the same time naively, thinking that none of them is involving. It's very complex. If you're married to a businesswoman or you're married to a businessman, it's a different kind of marriage. Different, because they are always thinking about something else. They may not be even that much romantic, so to say, because their mind is always on problem solving. They're looking at something else. You are looking for a woman who's in the house making her nails, making doing all those hair, polishing her face. No, that woman is a CEO. You cannot demand a lot of those. You are looking for a woman who should be this, who should be this. Once she's in business, there's another way you have to look at her effectiveness. She may even express her love differently. So you have to define that. You look for a man who is involved in a lot of things. The way that man will express the love for the family may be so much different from the other man who has so much time on his hand. So it doesn't mean that they should sacrifice the things that are important to the family, but the family should grow to understand how this man expresses his love for the family. And so if you are judging him from a man who does this, that, he may be providing the love, he may be showing the love to the family in a whole different way, which if you are not growing, you may not understand. You may think that this man does not care about the family, about the marriage, about everybody, but it may not be so, because of his commitment, because of a lifestyle, because of the kind of things that you have put they have put on themselves. So but with growth and maturity, you'll be able to know that if I'm married to somebody in business, this is how they do their things, this is how they think, this is how they manage things. And if I'm married to a woman who's into business, she's entirely different from the one in the house watching Kunkumbaja all the time. So there are differences, and you have to know what you have bought, what you have bargained for, and how you can build with that. And so you need a lot of understanding to handle all these things. They're very complex. And some people, they have business, the woman is involved, and if you don't take care, or the man is involved, they come and they treat the people in the business anyhow. They treat the people and that is immaturity. So it's all you, both of you, sitting down to understand what you will need, where you are going, what you will need to do all this and do them well. And at the same time have time for everyone in the family, the children, the parents, everyone in the family. And it's not a joke trying to do all this at the same time, building a business, building a marriage, and building a family. And so you have got to grow to handle any of these and handle them well. So my name is Kwabena. I am talking about the business, the marriage, and family. And what I'm saying is that every one of them is technically a company, so to say. Every one of them needs money to run and run well, and every one of them has to grow. Every one of them is built with humans, and humans are the most complex. They have their aspirations, their choices, their emotions, and they want to be seen as making contribution. They want to be understood. They want to be appreciated. They want to be validated. They want to be affirmed. You cannot take these things lightly, no matter how busy you are. You cannot take the workers lightly. You cannot take the wife lightly. You cannot take the children lightly, just because you're busy. Build on the other. And you are going to have constant disagreement until you have set goals that you have agreed on, and you have set the duties that each one of them is contributing. Somebody will handle the money, somebody will handle the product, somebody will handle the people, somebody will handle some bit. You should understand what you're good at the family level, what you're good at the business level, and then give people the autonomy and the freedom to make those choices, and those decisions should be made according to the expertise of each other, not necessarily according to the whether you're a man or a woman. It's more of the expertise. If the woman is very good with the money, then you let her handle the money, and if you are very good with something else, then she should let you. And you don't just do it like you're the man, especially the African. You're the man and the woman has no say. Then you are not looking for success. You're not looking for success. If you're looking for success, growth, peace, in any of these, then you cannot just detect. You have got to explain, and you have got to engage and communicate if you want to succeed and have peace and have growth. You detect, no problem, but it means that you are built on a bad foundation. It will go down on you. It will crash. So people need that, and commit to building the business, commit to building the marriage, commit to building the family. It's one life that you're living, and you have to do them and do them well. And people are not, even though people are complex, people can also be inspired to grow and to change. And that's what both of you are doing. So whatever is feeding your knowledge, whatever is feeding your understanding, or whatever is feeding your wisdom, your skill development, don't leave the other aside. Don't just be the one who's getting all the information and the other one is at the background. It will not work. Both of you are involved, so both of you should be committed to growing and growing together. If you're reading books, you are reading them together. If you're watching videos, you're watching videos together. If you're going somewhere, you do them together, at least if you are a business person. If you leave the other behind, no, it will not work. And the thing is that if the woman did not love you, then she will not spend all this time with you. So you might as well be committed to her development. If the man did not love you, he will not spend that time with you. It's one life that you're living. So provide the leadership. The man provide the leadership. The woman provide the leadership that is needed. And forget about this way of treating people and harshly and talking to people harshly and thinking that you're developing them. It will not work. So you need the money skill, you need the time skill, you need the people skill to build all these three: the family, the business, and the marriage. All of them. And the business is that complex, so it's going to take a lot of involvement. Don't be naive that you're going to just build a business anyhow. That's why sometimes some of the great business people, you see that they tend to marry one, it breaks, they go to another one, it breaks, they will go to another one, it breaks. If you ask them, latter part, they were not happy for the breakages, a lot of them. But they may have made some wrong decisions, some choices, and they may have sacrificed the family and the marriage along the line, or they may have thought that it was not even important to get the knowledge to build the family and the marriage, and then they were so much involved with just the business, and so you see them marrying 1, 2, 3, and all of them breaking. If you talk to them, the good ones, they are not proud of it. So if you can solve that, and then you solve that, and you're not going to solve that if you're succeeding at the business, it means that there's something that you know. And it means that there's some kind of discipline that you have acquired in. That's why you're having a successful business or career. If the marriage is not like that, it means that there are some things that you have neglected. And so if you can commit the same kind of discipline and being studious and equipping yourself at the business, at the professional level, the same, the marriage is also an institution. It's a business. You need different kind of knowledge to handle that. And so you cannot just be upgrading yourself on just the business, and leave the marriage. There is also that equal commitment of upgrade of knowledge to build that marriage as well. So you read about it, you study it, you don't have to just leave it like that, thinking that it will work. It will not work. It needs the same time, the same knowledge, the same money, the same information, the same with the family. You read about how a family is built, how you grow a family. You study it, go for knowledge. You cannot just be reading about just the business and finances and strategizing and the milestone that you're setting for yourself, the negotiation, the partners, and leave the marriage. You go and you come back and nobody is in the house. And so if it's important to you, then you study it as you're studying the business. You commit to it to get results as you commit to the business to get results. You commit to the growth of the family as you commit to the growth of the business, and you commit to the growth of the marriage just as you commit to the growth of the business. So don't ever think that you can just take any of them for granted and thinking that you'll get results. It will never happen. Results only come up when there is deliberate focus to getting results. And so nobody cannot do this. Every one of us can do this. It's just the basic things that are needed for anything to work. as anywhere at all. And your lifestyle as a family is different from their lifestyle of the others, and so your expectations will be different. If both of you are in business, your expectation and your lifestyle and how you look at the world is so much different from the others, and so there's no need to do a lot of comparison. And if both of you were growing, you will easily not even do the comparison at all. You will stay out of it, because you know that the path that you have taken is different from the path that the others have taken. And so it calls for a bit of growth, of maturity, and understanding. That's all these three are need for. All these three bring peace, they bring success, they bring enjoyment. And don't put the process, the journey on hold, just waiting for the results. Enjoy every one of it, have fun, and enjoy your life. Don't just, any one of us can change and build this. It's just create fun in the family, create fun in the business. Let people feel like they're humans. And so much seriousness and there's no high tension kind of lifestyle in the business, in the family. It's nothing. Create jokes, create fun. Let people relax around you, and let people feel valued. Let people feel appreciated. Let people feel like that they are needed. Create an atmosphere around the business, around the family, around the marriage. Let people feel like you're needed. And the thing about human need is that even at 70 years, 80 years, that need that you first met in that woman is not going to go away. That love, that acceptance, that affection that she was looking for, even at 80 years, she will still be looking for them. That respect that the man you accorded the man when you met him, even at 80, at 70, it's still that need, because it's a human need, So the man will be looking for that kind of thing, some respect, some allowance to be a man, to make some mistakes, to make some errors, and the woman will be looking for you, understanding her, understanding emotions, understanding the things that are important to her, a lot of affections. These are women. And the man too, So these are things that you study. What is important to the man, what is important to the woman. You study them. And if you study them, and you study them well, you see that a lot of the things that people are struggling with, you'll be able to handle them. And you look at the children, what are important to them. Sometimes just putting them in the car, moving around, is okay for them, So even though your business needs time, your marriage needs time, your family needs time, sometimes you just have to put everybody involved and you keep moving around, and because you have got to succeed. You have got to succeed big time. So it's all knowledge. It's not difficult. Even if you have problems, you can solve them by starting to study the problem and see where you are not good at. And once the person is still in the house with you, hopefully there's some bit of heart for you, which if you know how to do it and do it well, you'll be able to talk it through. But if you are yet to take one, then take your time and take the one who may share some bit of these aspirations with you. And I will look for somebody who understands how to solve problems, understands some bit of money, those who share some same bit of ambition. If you want to start a business, you should know this woman may be that ambitious as well, because if you can't take people to where they don't want to go. So, and that is what I think most people, the problems that they meet in the business, in the family, that's where most of them they come from. They took somebody who probably was a wrong candidate and who has never ever wanted to improve and change. They think that they know everything and you are not the one to teach them. Then it's something that may be a difficult situation, but you never know. So my name is Kwabena. I've tried to talk about the business, the marriage, and the family. And the thing is that all of them need your attention. All of them need your time. All of them you want to succeed. And so you just have to be somebody who treats people well, somebody who understands the complexity of the human nature to be able to be successful at each of these. And don't carry this unworkable cultural knowledge into trying to build a successful, functional home. you have got to upgrade yourself. Update your people skill. Update how you value people, how you validate people, how people you recognize what people are made of, how you see the differences in people, how you know yourself. If you neglect these things, they will come back to destroy all the things that you are building. And so thank you very much for showing up. Thank you very much for coming to watch. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good night.